Okay, so now we're going to do the next math review for the upcoming September math test. I want to talk about multiplying big numbers. So let me give you just one problem to start out with. Let's try 30 times 70. Now, it seems like they're pretty big numbers, but if you simply know your basic facts and follow the process, it's actually pretty easy. Okay, the first thing you want to do is your basic fact. 3 times 7. Well, anyone that plays football and goes by extra points, you know that 3 times 7 is 21. Okay, then you simply count how many zeros are in the problem. 1, 2. So that's how many you have in your answer. So that would be 2,100. Okay, so that's just one example. Let me write down 3 more, and I want you to try to do those 3. Okay, I'll say them as I write them down. 600 times 20. And 80 times 70. And let's do 400 times 80. Okay, so these are the 3 problems. Go ahead and write them down. I want you to go ahead and use the method. Do your basic fact first, count your zeros, and then you have your final answer. So go ahead and pause, do your work, and then come back. Okay, now you're back, and let's go over these together. So the first thing you do is your basic fact, 6 times 2. Okay, simply double the other number, right? So it's 12. Count the zeros in the problem, 1, 2, 3. So you need 3 zeros in your answer. That would give you an answer of 12,000. Okay, the next one, we do our basic fact, 8 times 7. Okay, if you don't have that memorized, you would have to use some other strategy to figure it out. But let's say you have it memorized and you know it's 56. Okay, then you count the zeros in the problem, 1, 2. So you got to put 2 zeros in your answer. So that would be 5,600 for your product. Okay, let's take a look at this one. Let's say you have it memorized. Okay, 4 times 8. 4 times 8 is 32. Now, if you didn't have it memorized, you'd have to draw an array, a group picture, repeated addition, okay, something like that. Okay, but let's say you know it, and you know that 4 times 8 is 32. Then you count your zeros, 1, 2, 3. So you have 3 zeros in your answer as well. Okay, so that number would be 32,000. Now that's a big answer, but if you just know your basic facts and follow the process, then you actually know what the answer is. It's really pretty simple if you follow the process. Now let's talk about some strategies, because not everyone is going to have all their basic facts memorized before this test. There'll be a few that do, and it's going to be super easy for them. But for those that don't have them memorized, remember, we have some strategies. Okay, one thing you're going to be asked to do, okay, you're actually going to be asked to show an array for a specific problem. So let's say they want us to do an array for 3 times 4. Okay, an array would just be 3 rows of 4. Okay, so you go 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I like to do X's, they're quick and easy. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now notice how it's nice and organized. Straight rows, straight columns. If you keep it organized, it's easy. Now to get the answer, you can count by 1s, by 2s, by 3s, by 4s, whatever works for you. You know, I would imagine everyone can count by 2s. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. That would be how you would find your product using an array. And in fact, on the test, there'll be a problem where you do have to draw an array. Okay? Now, there's also going to be a part of the test where they want you to draw groups. So let's do the same fact. 3 times 4. So this is a little bit easier, I think. You can be a little bit less organized, but still, of course, you want to be organized. You can draw 3 groups of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Circle it together. 1, 2, 3, 4. Circle it together. 1, 2, 3, 4. Circle it together. And how do you find the answer? Well, you count. Let's say, we can actually count by 4s. Let's try it. 4, 8, 12. So 12, once again, is your product. The product really never changes, does it? If you couldn't count by 4s, could you count by 2s? Sure. Could you count by 1s? Yes, I know everyone can count by 1s. So do whatever you have to do in order to get the correct answer, okay? So just remember, you're going to have to be able to do an array, and you can rewind this as often as you want, and you're going to have to be able to do a group picture as well. Okay, you may also have to do this. Okay, repeated addition. So let's do 3 times 4 again. Okay, so you add 3 4 times, or you could add 4 3 times. It's up to you. Let's go 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3. Okay, so 3 plus 3 is 6. Plus 6 plus 3, more, is 9. And then 9 plus your last 3 is 12. So 12, once again, of course, we knew it ahead of time. That is your product. That's repeated addition. You may be asked to do that. Even if you're not asked, you might like that as a strategy to try to figure out some of the ones that you don't know. Okay, let's go back to some of the multiplying of bigger numbers. I'll give you 3 of them, and then you simply practice doing them. Okay, let's try 900 times 60. And let's also try 400 times 400. And then we will also try 30 times 80. So go ahead and try all 3 of those. You can click pause while you're doing it, and then come back and we'll give you the answers. Okay, now you're back. Let's go ahead and talk about them. Okay, first the basic fact 9 times 6. Now you might have it memorized. If not, you can use that 9 strategy. Take 1 less than the other number. 1 less than 6 is 5. So now you ask yourself, what do I add to 5 to get 9? 4. So 54 was your answer to your basic fact. Now you count your zeros. 1, 2, 3. So that gives you your product of 54,000. Okay? Let's take a look at this one. 4 times 4. Probably most of you have this one memorized. Okay? The product of 4 and 4 is 16. Now you count your zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's a big number, isn't it? Okay? Comma goes right there. So that's 160,000. You can do this as a 3rd grader just by knowing your facts and following the process. Let's take a look at this one. 3 times 8. Okay, I used to know this when I was in school because sometimes when we played football for recess, we would score by 8s, which would be a touchdown and a 2-point conversion. And that's how we learned our 8s. Worked very well. You can do it too if you want to. It doesn't even have to be football. It could be anything and just score by 8s. Okay? If you have it memorized, you would know that it's 24. If you did not have it memorized, you would have to use one of the strategies to find the basic fact out. Then you count your zeros. 1, 2. Okay, that's 2,400 for your product. Okay, so now you know some more types of problems that you should practice for your test. Multiplying big numbers, you can do all kinds of them. Practice doing arrays to figure out answers. Practice doing group pictures to figure out answers. Practice repeated addition to figure out answers. The more you practice, the easier your test will be.